This is everything you need to know for Precalculus, Part 10. So we're talking about increasing and decreasing behavior today, and we're going to look at two ways of talking about it. So first, we're going to talk about graphically what that looks like, and then we're going to talk about how we can confirm that numerically. So we have the function g of x is equal to x cubed minus 3x. I have a rough graph, a rough representation of what that looks like, but it's going to work for this problem. And so first of all, let's look at it graphically and talk about where is our function increasing and where is it decreasing. So what that means is that as we move from left to right, or as our x values increase, what does our f of x or y value do in return? So as we're moving from left to right, okay, let's just start on our graph, and it looks like we're increasing as x is increasing until we get to here, and then notice how it's kind of like a roller coaster. It starts to come back down, okay? So that means that we're increasing I'm just going to put INC from negative infinity, because this graph continues this way forever, and it stops increasing once we get to x is equal, or x is approaching -1. Okay, so that'll be a -1, and we'll use parentheses. Then we start decreasing, so I'm going to put decreasing from -1, and it looks like we decrease until we get down to here at the bottom, and then we start increasing again. So we're going to decrease until we get to x is 1, or as x approaches 1. And then we're going to start increasing again. So INC from +1, and then we just go towards infinity forever. So we're going to increase again from 1 to positive infinity. Okay? So that's kind of how you can look at it graphically. I like to think of a roller coaster. If you're going from left to right, the roller coaster is moving this way. Okay, we're going up. Now we're going back down. Now we're going back up. Okay? Now, numerically, basically the way we do this is just make a table, and we pick some x values for each interval and plug it into our function to get the corresponding y values. So I've already done it for you. That way we don't have to go through all of that. But I'm going to go ahead and write down my intervals for each table. So we have negative infinity to -1, -1 to +1, and then 1 to positive infinity. Okay? So if we plug in x values from that interval, we can see what's happening with our y values. Okay? So from -infinity to -1, I have these x values plugged into our function, and you can see that our corresponding f of x or y values are increasing. Okay, they're increasing because they're getting less, because we're starting with -2,158, and then by the time we get to -3, we're at -18. Okay, so we are increasing. That confirms our prediction that we're increasing there. From -1 to 1, again, I plugged in x values, got my y values, and you can see that our y values are decreasing on that interval. Okay, so once again, that confirms. And then from 1 to positive infinity, I plugged in x values. I have my y values here, and you can see that our values for f of x are increasing on that interval. And so once again, that just confirms that. And so we are definitely increasing from -infinity to -1, decreasing from -1 to 1, and then increasing from 1 to positive infinity. So I hope this video was helpful. If you want to see more like this, go ahead and follow this account, like this video, and leave a comment. That way my videos show up in your For You page later on. We'll see you next time.